Hello everyone, this is Crota giving you a shoutcast in a game between Slayer S's BekHo and Root Gaming's Destiny here in the Xel'Naga Caverns. Here we have Slayer S BekHo spawning as the red Terran player. Meanwhile, we have Root Destiny spawning as the blue Zerg player over here on the north side of the map. And I am looking forward to this matchup here in the Xel'Naga Caverns. This game was given to me by a couple of Korean players and Korean managers, so I look forward to this game and look forward to watching it with you and shoutcasting this game for you. So Root Destiny, part of Root Gaming, obviously. Slayer S's BekHo, part of Team Slayers. Both teams very well known in their own right. Slayer S is a Korean team, so more well known in Korea. Meanwhile, Root Gaming, a brand new team, or a new team relative to StarCraft 2, which recently a brand new team from StarCraft 2. Anyways, getting into the game, we can see that we already have a very early drone making its way down south and will be coming up this ramp in just a moment. SCV looking to get some damage, and now just it looks like he's gonna go for a low ground barracks. So a low ground racks to prevent any Zergling run by. I like this positioning just because it adds the additional walking time that Zerglings need to do in order to get up that ramp. You can guard it with a relatively safe choke point here, and if you build another barracks here, and then you can if you build another barracks here, and that essentially creates a really effective wall off, as you can build your command center here. And I believe if one more barracks a little bit lower with a tech lab means that Zerglings have to run around your command center completely in order to get up that ramp. Also, you can see that there is currently no refinery coming into play, so what you can do is train up a lot of early Marines and put early pressure onto a Zerg player who is fast expanding. And this is something I like to see a lot more Terran players do, just because it forces the Zerg player to not be able to power drone. A lot of Zerg players now feel that they can just get away with power droning very early on and getting a very strong economic advantage. Off of this, the Terran player has a number of options. He can go for a double refinery in order to get a lot of gas, or he can go for a command center here since he is not getting gas, and then keep pace and keep neck and neck with the Zerg player as well by being able to double train SCVs and also use those mules in order to get a very strong economic advantage. You can see drones now making their way out. The drones perhaps expecting a little bit of aggression as a bunker may be placed down. So one SCV now out on the far side. You can see 4 drones trying to battle it out. Even more drones coming off. So Destiny losing a lot of mining time just because of 1 Marine and 1 SCV. And no, nicely done using an SCV purposely to make it so that there is no real way to surround right there. You can see more damage is being dealt. 1 Marine now trying to run away from those drones, but the drones are going to be able to get that kill there. But a lot of damage is being dealt just because Destiny is unable to mine right now. Take a look at the mining difference, 320 compared to 800 at this stage. And then also having to sacrifice 2 spine crawlers, or 2 drones for spine crawlers. So 17 SCVs with a mule versus 13 drones. And on top of that, Slayer S's BekHo now has taken the opportunity in order to set up a command center here. So he is going to have a very strong economy as well. You can see now the Zerglings and the units are trying to make their way out. An SCV taking a little bit too much damage there. And now a Queen almost off of creep for just a moment. It needs a spawn larva or get a creep tumor down, as that 1 spine crawler will be able to come into play, perhaps reroute itself into a better position. Yeah, going to swap locations, making it very much more easy for Destiny to get some Zerglings and surround this particular location here. An Overlord now from Root Destiny hanging around over here, trying to see if there's any tech buildings along the north side, but there is nothing hidden here. It is all down over here, and now we see a 3rd racks being built as well. So all this time we are now finally going into the double refinery. BekHo also transferring SCVs over as well to the natural expansion, and also Marines sitting here, and the Marines are looking pretty at this stage, able to block off any sort of aggression. And now you can see BekHo also getting double bunkers, 1 here and 1 here, making sure Zerglings cannot run by in this location, and if they try to run in from this location, even worse. as there will be double bunkers preventing those Zerglings from getting any damage into this mineral line. So nicely done by BekHo. Taking a look back into Destiny's base, Destiny currently mining off of one extractor. He does not have a second gas up yet. He does have the metabolic research underway, so Destiny will have the speed boosted lings out in just a moment, and that will help. It will help Zerglings take out units in the open field. BekHo just playing a little bit more of a mind trick here. Nothing inside that bunker, just making it look as though there are units in there so that Zerglings do not try to rush in and get any additional damage. A factory now being built here, and still nothing on this high ground expansion or this high ground location here, as the Overlord still hasn't found any key information whatsoever. As soon as that Overlord makes its way into this location, it would just get shot down by Marines, as Marines would be able to see it coming from coming in from a mile away before it even got within sight range of that factory here. And now it looks like BekHo wanting to make sure that he is even in terms of expansions. Doesn't see an expansion here, knows that the rocks are still here, and now wants to check one more expansion location here to make sure that there is no hatchery. We are getting now the Zerg Carapace upgrades and the Zerg Claw upgrades at the main base. Double evolution chamber, a very common strategy now for Zerg players in order to make a lot of, or get a lot of mileage out of those Zerglings. Zerglings dealing 20% additional damage by getting that level 1 Claw upgrades. Yeah, I bet you never thought it was actually that high. In comparison, the Stalker doesn't even get a 10% increase, more like a 7% increase, and compared to a Zergling's 20% increase in damage. That is very, very significant. We now have a bunker being placed over here at the low ground expansion and location, so BekHo will know when his opponent has taken down this bunker, and he knows when he needs to play and catch up in that economic game. An Overlord finally making its way in, and now Destiny sees all the key technical buildings, sees a siege tank with siege tech now being built, also sees that a reactor is being put down by this starport for most likely Metavacs and Vikings, as obviously you can't train anything else off of a reactored building. Another reactored starport, a bunker now placed down at the high ground expansion at the 9 o'clock location, so BekHo can use this use this as basically a scout farm and then salvage it whenever units come by. But that is a lot of Zerglings. I don't know if BekHo will be able to salvage that building in time, and it looks like, yes, there is a hatchery that will try to be built there. That hatchery will get denied, or at least delayed for a little bit of time, as something is blocking its position. There we go, Zerglings now coming in the swarm. BekHo not going to be able to get the salvage off in time, and losing 100 minerals there. The drone will be able to grow up and be a hatchery. Also, BekHo, I like this positioning, I like this movement by BekHo, and putting 2 supply depots here, and then also leaving some Marines on the side to make sure that if Zerglings do try to come in, that there are 2 Marines to at least try to deter anything from those Zerglings from being able to destroy these particular buildings. Now, at this stage in the game is still pretty even. Harvester count, excuse me, is currently even, and now Root Destiny needs to establish this expansion, otherwise he is going to fall behind. The key critical tech, we are getting the infestation pit with the pathogen glands, so the infestors will be able to get off fungal growth dealing 36 damage over 4 seconds, almost 10 damage a second. And then more than 10 damage a second against armored units, so that is a significant amount of damage. A Spire also coming into play, so Destiny pretty much having all of the 2 out of the 3 units that he can currently train off of tier 2, and that should help him out. The fungal growth, being able to stop units as Marines, now cleaning up some of these creep tumors. He wants to make sure that nothing is happening at these destructible rocks. And now the Marines, being airlifted up onto the high ground. So the Marines up on that high ground here are going to be well protected from any Zerglings. And then also, because he has activating this Xel'Naga watchtower, he will be able to see around and deal a lot of damage towards any air units as well. The Marines now quickly fighting back against the Zergling there. and the Marine taking some points of damage, but we already have 1-0 upgrades on that Marine. A low ground Marine over here as well with his back up against the wall, offering some more protection, and now down it goes once again. The Zerglings have taken down the destructible rocks here, and it looks like the Zerglings want to swarm this particular location, and it's gonna do so, but there are so many Marines over here on the high ground, and the Marines are now just shooting away at these units. There are in comes some Mutalisks now, and now deterring and trying to shoot back and push back against the rest of those Mutalisks. Some Mutalisks were taken down, and now those Mutalisks are backing off. With the Xel'Naga watchtower by BekHo, BekHo gonna have a very early warning system as the siege tanks now establish this particular gold mineral expansion here, but Root Destiny already in a very strong economic mode, now trying to take, already has the low ground expansion and now trying to establish this high yield mineral expansion as well. I also love the Overlord placement here, and pretty much Destiny knows that if a drop is coming into play, he has enough warning to react and respond in time. Zerglings and Infestors still sitting over here. The Infestors are now getting a very large amount of energy. Those Infestors moving almost the same speed as a stemmed Marine and Marauder. While on creep, also can burrowed mile moved, but they are a little bit of a fatter unit, so they do tend to get stuck behind other units fairly easily as well. Mutalisks is still wandering around the map. You can see that those Mutalisks are going to be trying to hit some of these key targets, and now there are a lot of Marines here, and that's going to be a very bad position. Yeah, Destiny unable to really do anything at all in that particular engagement. You can see the medevac in the air, Marines still on the ground. And with the Infestors should easily be able to get off 2, perhaps even 3 fungal growths, chaining those fungal growths, getting damage onto those siege tanks, and more importantly, those Marines. A Marine who has taken 1 fungal growth is pretty much almost dead, especially after Stim Pack. It will be down to around 11 to 15 hit points, unless a medevac is nearby to try to heal some of that damage. Mutalisks are currently upgraded 1-0. More units are being added into this group, as well as a level 1 weapons upgrade on the vehicles now underway. Siege tanks blasting away at many of these units, and there's that fungal growth that I was talking about. Siege tanks also using the infested Terrans, and now we'll be able to finish off the rest of these particular units over here. Mutalisks now also going to get shot out of the sky as well, but another round of fungal growth. And that is just, oh, I'm sorry, so sorry about that. Another round of fungal growth completely cleaning up many of those early units, but enough Marines have come in and rejoined the fight to allow these siege tanks to slowly push their way forward, and that is a lot of tanks, folks. A lot of tanks, and those tanks will be able to shoot down this hatchery with relative ease. Already down to 300 hit points. One more volley from those tanks. Down they go. Marines also getting absorbing some of that splash damage from those siege tanks, and now looking to try to shut down this particular low ground expansion. Zerglings now quickly swarm into the location once more. The Zerglings are upgraded 2-2, and they will be upgraded 2-3 in just a second. The Zerglings now trying to swarm into this location, but without any banelings. Without banelings or infestors, those Marines are going to be able to deal a lot of damage and fight back. And now, oh, the Mutalisks without any siege tank support are going to go at it against those Marines. Finally, more Marines coming in order to offer some support. Those Zerglings need to be very careful. Perhaps start swarming into this particular location here. There are a decent number of Mutalisks as the Zerglings are now swarming in. Mutalisks now simply trying to come in, get more damage, and the siege tanks are starting to splash on themselves. Many of these siege tanks are going to take so much critical damage and get destroyed very easily. You can see these siege tanks over here getting caught in transition once again, and the rest of this attack force has been destroyed. In that time, BekHo has established a high yield mineral location here at the center 5 o'clock position, but has not taken this particular expansion on the low ground corner just quite yet. The destructible rocks still add high hit points as well. So any units that try to make their way in from that side will try to beat their head on that door for quite some time, and perhaps some siege tanks will be ready to soften those units up before they get in within combat range. The adrenal glands now being researched by those Zerglings, or for those Zerglings, allowing even faster attack rate. We are also getting the Zerg level 3 claw attack upgrades, and now those Zerglings are going to be dealing 8 damage per attack in just a moment even, and they will be attacking very quickly as soon as that adrenal gland research is completed. More infestors now being trained, a lot of infestors currently queued up. Siege tanks making their way over and gonna just simply destroy that hatchery. No, cancel that. Forces opponent to cancel that hatchery, as Destiny is also very low on larva or low on hit points at this natural expansion location. The Marines now coming in and sees that Destiny is trying to establish an expansion location here. Is it going to get canceled in time? Yes, it does get canceled in time. The drone now trying to run away. It looks like it will be able to, as the Marines now fall to Mutalisk focus fire once again. Back here, the medevacs simply dropping off Marines to die. Not working out all too well there, but BekHo was able to delay this expansion location a little while longer. Another hatchery once again under play, as we have another command center here. I'm assuming units will be coming down into this location in just a moment in order to clear out this expansion location, or clear out these rocks and try to establish an expansion here on the bottom right hand side of the map. Infestors still getting more and more energy. Those infestors move fairly quickly and are able to deal a lot of damage, especially with that fungal growth and infested Terrans. However, there are missile turrets in play, and as soon as that infestor is revealed by a missile turret, it is instantly dead infestor, as 2 siege tanks will be able to quickly lock on and destroy that target very easily. Zerglings now coming in from one side, while Mutalisk and Zerglings coming in from the other, and there's a fungal growth getting a lot of damage in, but the missile turrets are still in play here, and the missile turrets are finished us off. Another infestor, I believe, was taken down, and the Mutalisk simply getting destroyed by mass Marines and some missile turrets. Zerglings also getting toasted as well, as the 2 missile turrets here from Slayer S's BekHo really acted as a deterrent. We also have a drop coming into the backside of the base. Marines getting a couple quick kills. It looks like the medevac gonna try to fly away, but to no avail, as the Mutalisk finish off that one medevac once more. Siege tanks now making their way off to the low ground. One very low hit point siege tanks and Marines continue to file their way through. It looks like the Zerglings gonna try to test that waters on that front door, perhaps test it so that they are able to get some damage before any additional reinforcements come in. The Zerglings are upgraded 3-3. We are getting another command center here at the 3 o'clock location, and with upgraded 3-3 units, the Zerglings should have a very easy time against these Marines. The Marines are only upgraded 2-2 at this stage, so it is just like the Zerglings having a 1-1 upgrade compared to a 1-0. Oh, Zerglings swarming out this location and quickly taking that down, but oh my goodness, that was just absolutely horrible right there. So we have a swarm of Mutalisk coming in, and this is what's been keeping Destiny in this game. But you can see what's going to be... dang it. Yeah, we're going to have a swarm of Mutalisk come in just a moment. And here, I'll go widescreen on this one. So you're going to have a swarm of Mutalisk coming in just a moment here, getting some damage, shutting down this command center. But those Mutalisk running into a group of Marines, and depending on whether or not you like or hate Terran, that is just an absolute horrible play. Root Destiny going, losing so many of those units right there. Those Marines upgraded 2-2, shooting those Mutalisks out of the sky, and all he would have needed is probably perhaps 2 infestors, and 2 infestors would have been able to stop those Marines. The Mutalisks would have been able to back off and get enough damage. Zerglings, however, able to take down this planetary fortress, so down it goes. But now in comes another drop here by Slayer S's BekHo, and then another Marine coming in over here as well. So BekHo realizing that he is currently lucky and running into a group of units there. Marines now making their way here and shutting down this expansion. Drones were able to hide off for just a moment, as more units are still swarming across the map. This hatchery has been destroyed. But now BekHo is also in terms of a very weak economy. He only has 2 mineral patches that he's currently mining from. Meanwhile, long distance mining, mining has been now re-established by Root Destiny. But is it gonna matter? The army size, 5950 versus, or 6100 with 2800 minerals versus 2000. So that is almost a 9,000 my 9,000 resource army, and now it finally is a 9,000 resource army. You can see Infestor's trying to get more damage. You can see how much damage was being dealt across the board. Another round of fungal growth, getting even more damage, but those siege tanks blasting apart those armored units. Armored Infestors are now getting destroyed, and you can see now another Infestor trying to heal up the rest of these Marines and units here. Zergling's gonna run straight into a group of units there, and Root Destiny says GG. So Root Destiny losing to Slayer S's BekHo here in the Xel'Naga Caverns. Really, I think the tipping point was that mass loss of Mutalisk right here outside that base, or outside this expansion location, and from there, Destiny lost the majority of his army and was unable to get back into this game. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. Hope you guys enjoyed this 1v1 replay between Destiny and Slayer S's BekHo.